Hi guys, my name's Jamie. I'm a housewife and lifestyle vlogger here on YouTube, and today I'm talking about my top 5 favorite Christmas movies. Yay! Number 5, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I'm not talking about the Jim Carrey version, although I do like that one. I'm talking about this one. The original Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Animated in all its gloriousness, it's like half an hour long. This is from like 1966. So this is the old, the original, the best version, in my opinion. I like the real one, it's just way too long for its own good. So this one is short and sweet and to the point. I love watching it on Christmas Eve. If you guys aren't familiar with the How the Grinch Stole Christmas story, this is the Grinch, who is basically the outcast of Whoville, and all the Whos are obsessed with Christmas, and the Grinch doesn't get it, and so he goes in one night posing as Santa Claus and steals all of their Christmas things, even down to the last can of Who hash. But then on Christmas morning, the Whos prove to him that it's not just about the presents. So that's my number 5. My number 4 is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the original claymation. I love it. I love all the songs. I love Hermie. Hermie doesn't like to make toys. Hermie, meet World. World, meet Hermie.
Just fixing these dolls' teeth. The abominable. He must see your nose. Quick, douse the light. Well, sir, someday I'd like to be a dentist.
We all know the story of Rudolph. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. So it's basically that story in claymation form with some songs. It's just phenomenal. It's like 45 minutes long. That's also a good one I really like to watch on Christmas Eve, just because it's so iconic to my Christmas. Number 3 is A Christmas Carol, but not just any Christmas Carol, because there are tons of versions. There's the Muppets version, the Disney version, that I don't even know. There's so many versions. My favorite is the Patrick Stewart version. It is phenomenal. So Patrick Stewart, he's from like X-Men, Star Trek. He plays Jean-Luc Picard. It's just a TV movie, but he's just so good. My favorite part is in the very end when he he laughs for the first time in years and years, and it's so good. This movie like makes Patrick Stewart for me. Like, this is him as an actor, like totally. You can tell like he's done so much theater, and I think he's done a lot of Shakespeare as well. A Christmas Carol is based on the novel by Charles Dickens. If you haven't read it, you should. It's really great, and also a very good book to read around Christmas time. I read that a lot at Christmas. It's this businessman basically who's completely heartless. He's lost all of his compassion, and he gets visited by ghosts. The ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, the ghost of Christmas future. I'm sure you guys have heard of this if you know anything about Christmas. And they show him the error of his ways. This is a really good rendition. If you haven't seen it, I definitely suggest that you pick this one up. Number 2, Home Alone. Classic. Total classic. It came out in 1990, I believe. It's about this kid whose family, like huge family, they all go to Paris and they accidentally leave him home alone. He's like 8 years old, and so it's his adventures being home alone around Christmas, and also his family trying to get home to him, and it's just so funny. Just a classic. And of course I think they live in Chicago, so it's very Christmassy and snowy and wonderful. So when you live in San Diego, you kind of watch all the Christmassy snowy things because it's not like that here. Love it! Number 1. My top favorite Christmas movie is The Santa Claus. First of all, Tim Allen was one of my favorite actors growing up. He reminds me so much of my dad. I think that's one of the reasons why I love The Santa Claus, because he reminds me so much of my dad, and it's such a funny movie. I love all the characters. I love Bernard, who plays like the head elf, and he's very different in the Santa Claus 2 and 3. I don't really like those ones. I rarely watch those, if ever. So the Santa Claus is basically, if you guys haven't seen it, Santa Claus falls off Tim Allen's roof. Scott Calvin, SC, like Santa Claus. And so he falls off Scott's roof, Santa Claus does, and Scott puts on the Santa suit and does the whole like Santa Claus thing for that night. But then they're like, it's in the claws. thus the C-L-A-U-S-E, clause, like in the last line of a contract. I'm doing really good at describing this movie. So he puts on the suit, and in the clause it says, if you put on the suit, then you're Santa Claus. And so it's basically his adventures and having to become Santa Claus, and his like denial and acceptance, and like his family, and it's so good and funny. These 5 movies represent my Christmas so well, and they're the movies that I cannot go without watching in the Christmas season. So there are a lot of other Christmas movies that I like The Holiday and Elf and the live action Grinch, Jack Frost, things like that, but they didn't make my top 5 because I can't live without these 5 movies during Christmas time. But if you guys have other movies that you really like, leave them down below in the comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! I'll have my list here.
Hey, what do you say we both be independent together, huh? Nitwit, you can fire me. I quit. See, I don't fit in.
And that concludes our video for today. Mwah! Aren't you all super jealous of my husband because he made this for me? Just because he wanted to. Look at him in there being all cute. BT Dubs, Eleanor Riggs has requested that we have more Cooking with Kuroto sessions. How does that make you feel?